Hello, welcome to Glovebox pay-per-view. I'm your host, Cassius Carter, father of Cash Carter. This is going to be my son's last fight in his career. It's something that is definitely a huge experience for him, for the both of us. Really, I get to see my son in his last fight. The last two fights, Cash Carter, he really he got beaten down. He lost to Jacob and he lost to Tyreese, and he lost his cruiserweight titles. But when it's all said and done, Cash is still one of the best fighters that this game has ever seen, and we're gonna see if he could prove tonight why he's a legend in the business. But the first card, or the first match that we have today, is Thruston Bates with, oh my god, Thruston Bates he already knocked him down, and the fight just started. This was going to actually bring me into my point that I was going to talk about, is that these young fighters nowadays seem to have so much experience compared to the young fighters of my generation, or Cash's generation, or Dynamo, their generation. The young fighters coming up nowadays, I feel like they're better equipped, they're better trained as he gets another knockdown to really, become better. I think this generation right now is just better than the last because of all the coaching and technology that has been presented to them. And I feel like they use that to their advantage nowadays. And I think it's a great thing, because now we're getting a lot of up-and-coming guys that are becoming future world champions at such a young age. Something that was deemed almost impossible back in the Dynamo and Simon Says era. When you talk about legends in the business, though, you have to mention Dynamo 4. Recently he has disappeared from the sport of boxing entirely. All his belts were vacated, but what a man that he was. He transcended the sport. 5-division world champion, something that has never been seen before. He fought tough opponents, and he's considered probably the greatest glovebox fighter of all time, and for good reason. And looking back at his era, when he started up, when he came up in glovebox, that was truly the prime of glovebox boxing. When he had guys like Kenji, when you had guys like Bobby, Josh Campbell, all in their prime. You had people like Mark Perez, Riku, DeMarcus Clay. You have all these names, these big fighters that fought the best and were the best. And that brings me back to my point, as he gets another knockdown, that these fighters nowadays, they might have a lot of pressure on them, but they've learned from their predecessors that they could be just as good as, if not better, than these guys. And Thruston Bates is just look at the knockout power that this man has. This up-and-coming fighter, he has some potential to be a glovebox great, as he dominates his opponent. And it only took him 3 rounds. What a fight. And the next fight that we have is Big Left Finn Finley versus Jesus Juarez for the WBC World Middleweight Championship. Now Finn, he's coming off of a huge but impressive loss against arguably the greatest glovebox fighter of all time that we were just talking about, Dynamo 4. Finn really showcased that even as someone as new as him, as fresh as him, could still compete with a veteran of the sport at such a high level and still put on a show for the fans. A lot of people argue that maybe if he had a little bit more skills, if he was a little bit more developed, he could have actually matched better against Dynamo, and maybe I think I agree with that. But Finn Finley is definitely someone that you need to be paying attention to, because if you are not, you're going to be sleeping on him. Do not sleep on Finn Finley. He's known as the Big Left because that left hand is just killer. as he already has his opponent backed up on the ropes here. It's something that you just need to be aware of. This guy's an up-and-coming GOAT, someone that could be in the business for a long time, and his longevity is definitely there. Even after this loss against Dynamo, he bounces back with this fight right here, and he's going to prove himself that one loss does not define his career. He's going to keep on pushing. And, you know, I think he takes a lot of inspiration from Simeon, another great Glovebox fighter, probably a Hall of Famer, you know, a Hall of Fame fighter right there. And, you know, he's following in his footsteps. He's following in Simeon's footsteps, because Simeon was truly a dominant fighter. He was present during that golden age of Glovebox for sure. And, you know, Finn Finley's just trying to look in the right direction and try and make something happen. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with as he gets a knockdown using that big left that he has. Amazing. And it looks like Jesus actually gets up at 8, at the count of 8. You know, he's not done with this, but I think Finn Finley has this in the bag for sure. You know, the state of Glovebox right now is a little bit, it's in a dark place. You know, ever since Bobby Tarantino has left, ever since Dynamo has recently left, it has been a little bit lackluster compared to its prime days. It is slowly fading away. Many people like myself wonder the future of Glovebox. You know, me, Cassius Carter, I have fought in Glovebox when it was pretty much in its prime, and I could tell you it was an amazing experience. Something that was just great. And, you know, on the topic of that, Cassius Carter fought Antonio Crawford, which is just amazing. You know how both of us fought each other, and now we get to look at our own family fight each other again. It's like the lineage continues. It's such a great thing to see, and I can't wait to see it. You know, obviously I'm rooting for my son Cash. I hope he does amazing. You know, a lot of people actually say that Cash sounds a lot like me, which, yeah, that's true. I think it's true. As Finn gets another knockdown, but Jesus gets up. He's resilient. He's fierce. But look at that big left. That big left is something that you cannot escape. Once he throws a lot of those big lefts, you're done. And I think he's done for the count here. He's done. For sure. And Finn Finley with another impressive win. Winning by knockout in round 3. Congratulations to Big Left Finn Finley for winning the WBC belt. You know, when we talk Jun Hyun, oh man, I haven't heard that name in a century, it seems like. You know, Jun Hyun, previously actually covered by my son Cash on commentary before with Owen White, whoever Owen White is. You know, he's been gone for a long time. Nobody has really heard from Jun Hyun. You know, sources say that he might have taken a break from boxing, and you know, it shows because obviously he hasn't been in the ring for God knows how long. And man, it's good to see him back and back in shape for this fight. You know, he's trying to go back to his days where he was a dominant fighter. He's gonna try to make his mark in the division again. But many people wonder where Jun Hyun has went these past couple of months. You know, last time we've seen him, when was the last time we've seen him? You know, even I can't recall that, because Jun Hyun is just such a silent person. He doesn't really talk. He's like not really an outgoing person. So not many people, you know what I'm saying? Like, not many people know what he's doing all the time. So it's definitely like a surprise to see him here. as he has a dominant first round to come back. And it's a good sight to see for sure. This Miami crowd is definitely excited for these upcoming fights. You know, you got Zay Holland, someone that is looking after Nas Holland, arguably a Hall of Fame fighter. Zay's versing a D'Amato. You know, I'm not sure, but I think he's a relative of Cus D'Amato, you know, the famous trainer that trained Mike Tyson. That's going to be a great fight. You know, you got Jacob obviously defending his newly undisputed titles, his fresh undisputed titles. That's obviously going to be a great bout. And then obviously you have the main event, Tyreese versus Cash 2. You know, in the first fight, Tyreese basically dominated. You know, Cash was just, I don't know if he was ready or he was maybe underestimating Tyrese's power, but Tyreese is one of the most powerful fighters that the sport has ever seen. And so to underestimate someone like that is, I don't know if Cash was underestimating him, but if he was, you know, you can't do that because Tyreese obviously made a mockery out of Cash. I would say, you know, even if he is my own son, he really showed the difference in skill in that first fight. But maybe in the second fight, Cash is coming in angry because, you know, as the posters have said, this is Cash's farewell. You know, this is Cash's last fight in the Glovebox, and then he's hanging up the gloves. And you know, it's sad. Really, it's sad to see someone like that go. You know, a legend in the business go. He's accomplished way more than I would have thought, way more than me. You know, both of these guys are generational fighters. Both come from lineages of boxing. You know, it's insane how much the time can go by. And I'm just excited to see the main event. Really, it's something that's gonna definitely be a spectacle for sure. And there goes Jun Yoon with the knockdown in the 4th round. Surprisingly though, Ali gets right back up. You know, I think I would love to see a fight between Jun Hyun and Joshua Kim. You know, me and my colleagues were talking about it, and Joshua Kim is a special fighter. You know, that guy definitely possesses great talents. And I think a fight between him and Jun Hyun would really bring back that old, you know, Glovebox rivalry type of fights. You know, I mean, just in the last couple of cards, we've had major fights. We've had Dynamo versus Simon, where Simon came out victorious. We've had Tyreese versus Cash, where Tyreese showed that, you know, he's a dog in the ring. We've had Jacob versus Simon 2 recently, and that just showed that Simon can really bounce back from a loss, and that he's really an underrated fighter that should be taken seriously. You know, a lot of people before they weren't giving Simon credit. They were not giving him credit at all. But you know what I'm saying, now that he finally beat Jacob and he beat, you know, Dynamo, that, you know, he's actually a force to be reckoned with, and probably, as of right now, the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. You know, surprisingly, Jun Hyun gets the knockdown, but surprisingly, Joshua and Simon both have decided to take some time off and really celebrate their victories, which, you know, props to them, I guess. You know, Simon just came off the biggest victory of his career against Dynamo, and so, you know, both of them are not fighting on this card, but, you know, rest assured that on the next one they will definitely come back prepared and stronger than ever, for sure. As we go into the 7th round of this fight, I mean, Jun Hyun doesn't even have a single scratch on him. Like, not a single scratch. Like, his endurance and his chin are just amazing. Jun Hyun scores yet another knockdown against Ali. Let's see if he can get up from this one. He gets up at 5. He's a resilient fighter as well. That's a pattern that we've been noticing so far, is that these guys are just not giving up no matter who they are. And they're just proving themselves and getting back up from anything, but I don't think he's getting up from that. Oh my God, what a devastating right hook. That right hook was devastating for sure. I doubt he's getting up from this one. Yup, he's not. He cannot beat the count. And Jun Hyun wins by KO in round 7. What a great comeback fight for him. I forgot he was fighting for a WBA World Super Bantamweight Championship. Hey man, congratulations. Your first fight back, you got a title shot. I don't know how that makes sense. For the WBC World Super Bantamweight Championship, we have a great, and I mean great, up-and-coming fighter. Leon Great Dane. Wait, what was his last name? Great Dane Diaz. That's a great nickname. That's a great nickname. You know, this fighter right here, him, Joshua Kim, and Jun Hyun, all in the same division or around the same division. You know, these three could potentially be the 3 kings of the sport in the future. You know, I see many fights between all 3 of them happening for sure. And, you know, who knows, maybe there will be a fighter that is out there that, you know, a new fighter that might come up and challenge them as well. You know, this is definitely going to be a great arc for the future of Glovebox. You know, great rivalries. Leon already has Richard Prowry on the ropes. Let's see if he can capitalize and finish him off in round 1 and get a knockdown. Richard is showing great defense though, so I don't think that's going to happen. We're going into round 2. Now look, man, Leon, he definitely has great power. His power is great. His combination punching is great, you know. Those nice green eyes, you know. Who can stare those down for a while? Nobody. You know, Leon is definitely someone that is going to captivate the sport. He's definitely going to be someone that sells a lot of pay-per-view tickets because he is just like such a great fighter. And I feel like in the future he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with once he gains that experience. Leon's ability to just dodge all of those incoming punches and block them is just something that is great to see. It's amazing to see. He's absolutely just dodging and weaving and dodging and weaving. You know, even if Richard is landing a lot of more punches, Leon's power is what is actually winning the fight for him, because he's connecting better shots than Richard. Yes, Richard is landing more, but those punches are not really affecting Leon. You know, he's taking those punches and he's giving 2 right back. He's taking 1 punch, giving 2 right back. Taking 2 punches, giving 4 right back. You know, something that is great about Leon for sure. I mean, we have to give props to Richard for actually holding his own in this fight, but it seems like he has pillow hands. You know, his punches are not really doing damage to Leon, but Leon's punches are doing great damage to Richard. And so, you know, many wonder if this was a 5-round fight and Richard, you know, had a great chin, maybe Richard will actually come out on top. But this is a 12-round fight, and I don't think Richard is lasting 12 rounds with Leon. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that Leon's going to knock him out, and it's going to be soon. Look at that uppercut from Leon. He sends Richard Power to the ground. Can he get up from this? I do not think so. 8, 9, and 10. Nope, he's not getting up. And Leon with an impressive round 4 knockout. I mean, did you ever doubt him? Did you ever doubt that he could win this fight? No, I think he's more than proven himself, and he did a great showcase here. And of course, he's the new WBC World Super Bantamweight Champion. The Bantamweight divisions are on lock. These 3 guys are going to be definitely future contenders for titles for sure. And here he is, someone that is considered probably the new GOAT of Glovebox. Yes, that might be a little weird to say, knowing that Dynamo is no longer with us right now. I'm making it seem like he's dead, but he's not. No, he's not dead. But Jacob's resume is probably the best resume ever. Snap. Yeah, as I was saying, Jacob probably has one of the best, if not the best, resumes in Glovebox. I mean, the amount of people that this man has beaten is actually insane. Insane. He's beaten so many great fighters. He's beaten Cash Carter, someone that was considered to be the cruiserweight GOAT. He beat Tyreese Crawford. You know, he beat the 2 main eventers of this card. He beat both of them. He beat Simon, who beat Dynamo. Like, he beat Simon. Albeit he lost to Simon in the second fight, but he still beat Simon once, which is something that you cannot scoff at. He beat Estock, even though Estock was low-key a very, very overrated fighter. He still beat Estock. And he's beaten many more. He beat Nas Holland as well. Someone that is considered probably the Glovebox legend, the Glovebox GOAT, maybe. So he's beaten amazing competition. Someone that is just fearless. Someone that would fight anyone if it came down to it. No matter what the prize, no matter what is in it for him, he would fight for free if it meant proving himself as the greatest fighter of all time. He would do anything. It's that Mexican pride that is showing. And I'm sorry if I sound, I know Crawford right now is probably saying that I'm meat riding Jacob right now, and maybe that is the case. I'm just trying to be a good commentator. He has fought my son Cash, and I should hate this man, but I don't, because he's such a great fighter. And it's great to see him back in action, defending his newly crowned light heavyweight undisputed championships. So it's definitely good, and it's definitely refreshing to see Jacob back on the stage again. Jerome is really struggling, and rightfully so, against Jacob. Against a fighter like Jacob, I think, it's necessary to be a good counter puncher, because when Jacob throws those big right uppercuts, and if you dodge those uppercuts and you deliver one of your own, I think you will actually stun Jacob. So I think a little bit of counter punching is just what the doctor would order if you would want to take down Jacob De La Rosa, but that is just me. But it looks like Jerome is not even doing a good job at that, because he is already bleeding in the fourth round. It's not looking good. Who gave this guy a contract to even fight here? God. Whoa. He gets up. He gets up. But I don't think there's any, he's not going to survive this much longer. So, what I'm saying? We'll definitely see what happens. Although Jacob is already looking like he is not even breaking a sweat. He's not breaking a sweat at all. And so I think Jerome might be put down in round 5 or round 6 here. Even when Jacob misses that right uppercut, it still does damage to the gloves. Even trying to block that uppercut is difficult, as he just scores an amazing knockdown. I doubt he's getting up from this. I really doubt it. But like I said, he throws many of those uppercuts at you. You can't block all of them. And even if you do, your hands are done. Your arms are done. Jacob wins by KO in round 5, and he successfully defends his light heavyweight titles for the first time. Now this right here, this is the fight that I'm actually really excited to see. The WBA World Heavyweight Championship between Zay Punisher Holland and Carponio D'Amato. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Carponio, I think that's how you pronounce it. These two young fighters, heavyweights, both packing extremely serious knockout power in their punches. This is definitely a show. This is definitely a fight to see. These two young guys squaring it off against each other is definitely going to be something magical to see. You have Zay Holland, someone that is coming from a lineage of boxers. We obviously know of Nas Holland, a great fighter that came out of Glovebox, that retired as well. He's living in his in his footsteps a little bit, but Zay is someone that is just, he's not to be messed with. His power is immense. But Carponio, he's coming out of G&G fresh. He's coming off of fresh G&G experience. That may not be saying much, but he has a good amateur background. He could definitely stand toe-to-toe with these type of guys. You know, I mean, it doesn't look good right now because he's already swelling against Zay, but it is Zay Holland, someone that's going to be a future heavyweight champion in this sport. This is definitely a great fight, man. It's definitely a great fight. Now, I don't know if their counters were raised or not. Maybe it should have been. Maybe Carponio, knowing that he was the B-side fighter, should have told Zay to raise his counter up by 10. And, wait, hello? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that on television? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, well, you know, maybe Carponio should have been a little bit more willing to negotiate in the negotiating stages rather than just accepting a plain fight. However, this is for the WBA, so I don't know what Carponio was thinking doing this against Zay Holland, because oh my god, Zay already gets a knockdown. Yeah, there's not much life left for D'Amato here. I mean, he gets back up, which is great, but he's not offering Zay that much. He's not offering. Damn, I don't even know what the word is. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's already round 2 and he already went down. And Zay looking like it's an easy fight. I mean, you can see a little bit of swelling under his eye, but I think that's fine because it is heavyweight. And no matter, even if you are the worst heavyweight of all time, you're a heavyweight and you're going to pack power in those punches. So, you know, I don't know. It's not looking good for Carponio for sure. And D'Amato is already bleeding. This is just not a great sign. Like, Zay is looking as dominant as ever against a formidable opponent. One that he's not really used to fighting such a good opponent. But Zay is actually backing up on the ropes here. This is a surprise turnaround. Okay, Carponio might actually still have some life left in him. As we head into the 4th round, that was actually a really good round by D'Amato. You know, it may not actually be over yet. He still has a chance. However, it is a very slim chance because Zay has already done a lot of damage early on. D'Amato with a great right uppercut for a counter punch. That's exactly what you need to do at these higher weight classes. At these higher weight classes, when you hit a counter punch, it doesn't even do 2 times the damage. It does 4 times the damage because your fists are heavy. You are a heavy person. So when you land a counter punch at these bigger stages, at these bigger weights, it impacts it. It does a lot of impact. As look, Zay Holland is already back on the ropes because of D'Amato's great counter punching skills. And these fighters are just going back and forth on the ropes. It's an amazing show of skill. You know, it appears as if D'Amato being hurt earlier is actually benefiting him because now he's coming in the ring as a hungrier man and he's actually out to kill Zay Holland now. It's a great performance actually so far by both fighters. Oh, but Zay lands that uppercut and D'Amato is bleeding again. So D'Amato definitely has to be careful here. But he lands another uppercut of his own. It's definitely a great fight to see. And this is actually amazing. D'Amato landing. Zay won. The doctor has stopped the fight. in a controversial decision, the doctor has actually stopped the fight and awarded Holland with the victory. Just when you thought D'Amato was going to come back and beat Zay Holland, he stops the fight. The doctor stops the fight. He has seen enough. D'Amato's wounds were just too massive, and he had to... Wow, even I'm shocked right here at the commentator's table. I was expecting more of a show. If I were if I were Carpanio D'Amato, I would definitely ask for a rematch. This was insane. He was actually starting to come back at this fight. This was actually a great fight and a great showcase by D'Amato. But Zay retains the WBA titles, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen. I would definitely ask for a rematch if I were him. Wow, I just realized I was talking this entire time and my mic was muted. That's great. I don't know if I'm going to repeat myself, but I was saying that both of these guys are under new management. They're under new gyms. Cash, returning to the Dragon Warriors, his first home, producing many great fighters like Genki, Luis Rodriguez Jr. Dragon Warriors definitely an esteemed, prestigious gym. And Tyreese going to LA Fighting Club under new management with Simon, with people like Finn Finley. Definitely great gym as well. Both of these guys going to gyms that will definitely further their careers. I mean, for Cash at least, it's going to end his career. But for Tyreese, it's definitely going to further his career in Glovebox and make him a GOAT in this business. And like I said, or like I probably said if my mic wasn't muted, this is for all the marbles. This is for the undisputed titles. Cash held on to these undisputed titles for the longest after beating Alfred Oxoa in their second fight. Those first two fights with Alfred, those fights with Alfred, they were amazing fights. Like, those fights were great. And so since then he's been holding on to those cruiserweight titles. But Tyreese in the last fight looked dominant. Tyreese looked like a dog against Cash in their first fight. Tyreese was out for blood, just like Cash Carter, just like the Blood era Carter was out for blood when he was fighting in the cruiserweight division, when he knocked out Dontavius Freedom, someone thought to be untouchable, when he knocked out someone like Nas Holland in the second round. Cash was really out for blood in that era. And Cash is actually the B-side fighter for his third time, yes, for the third time in his career. The first time being against Neil Williams, going down to light heavyweight. The second time being against Jacob De La Rosa, and the third time tonight against Tyreese Crawford. And this Miami crowd is just packed with people, just packed and absolutely just excited to see the results of this fight. You know, and as you can see in the fourth round, both of these fighters are just going at it early. Cash is already backed up onto the ropes by Tyreese. This fight is something that it's going to be a great fight for sure, and it is already turning out to be a great fight as Tyreese lands an uppercut. Tyreese lands a great uppercut, and you know, Cash is obviously, he doesn't have the best of chins, but he's definitely fighting back here. It is definitely a close fight so far. You know, Tyreese may look like he's a little bit on the lower health side, but he's still putting up a great fight. This fight is one for the centuries. This fight is, you know, it means so much to both of these fighters, and let's just sit back and relax and see what happens. I mean, yes, this crowd is just electric. This crowd is electric. You know, Cash is actually landing great counter punches, and with that uppercut right there, he sends Tyreese to the ropes, and Tyreese is actually bleeding. Tyreese is bleeding, and he goes down. Tyreese goes down for the first time in this fight. I think he's getting up. He's definitely going to get up from this. Yep. Tyreese is a dog. He's a killer. So, of course, he would get up from that. But Cash with another one. Cash with an uppercut that sends Tyreese down again. I don't know if he's going to get up. I don't know if Tyreese is going to get up. And that's it. That is it. Tyreese goes down, and Cash Carter wins by knockout in round 5. I'm sorry, you know, I'm emotional. I'm Cash's father. I'm Cash's Carter. It's to see my son in his last fight completely knock out Tyreese in the 5th round. You know, it is something amazing. It is something great. And you know, obviously the Crawfords are probably going to be upset by this, thinking that some strings were pulled, but no, this is just Cash on his revenge, and Cash ending off his career as the cruiserweight undisputed champion. It is definitely an amazing sight to see. It is great. Thank you all for watching. From Miami, I am Cash's Carter, and thank you, Cash. Thank you, Cash Carter, for putting on a great career for all the fans. Catch you guys later.